Welcome to this video lecture. In this video lecture we are going to discuss about crystal field theory, especially splitting of d orbitals in octahedral, tetrahedral and square planar complexes. Let us see the general view of CFT. Crystal field theory considered the metal ligand bond is purely ionic, and the electrostatic interaction is between the metal ion and ligands. The ligands is anion, metal atom is cation. If the ligand is a neutral molecule, the negative ends of the dipole is attractive towards the metal atom. It treats the ligand is a point of negative charge. The arrangement of ligand around the central metal ion is such a way that repulsion should be minimum. For example, when the ligand approaches metal ion, that is a d orbital, the ligand orbital approach to d orbital of the metal. Therefore, there will be a possible force between them. One is a force of attraction and another one is a force of repulsion. Force of attraction. It will decrease the force if there will be more force of attraction. It means there is a low in energy. Force of repulsion. It will increase the force if there will be more force of attraction. It means there is a high energy. Now we discuss the splitting of d orbital energy levels in the formation of octahedral complex ion. By convention, the dxy, dxz and dyz orbitals in an octahedral complex are called T2G orbitals. The dx squared minus y squared and dz squared orbitals on the other hand are called Eg orbitals. The easiest way to remember this convention is to note that there are three orbitals in the T2G set. T2G set contains dxy, dxz and dyz, and the Eg contains dx squared minus y squared and dz squared. The difference between the energy of the T2G and Eg orbitals in an octahedral complex is represented by the symbol delta naught, that is delta O. That O represents the octahedral complex. The magnitude of the splitting of the T2G and Eg orbital changes from one octahedral complex to another. It depends on the identity of the metal ion, the charge on this ion, and the nature of the ligand coordinated to the metal ion. In the tetrahedral complexes, the tetrahedral crystal field splits these orbitals into the same T2G and Eg sets of orbital as does the octahedral crystal field. The T2G set contains dxy, dxz and dyz, and the Eg set contains dx squared minus y squared and dz squared. But the two orbitals in the Eg sets are now lower in energy than the three orbitals in the T2G set, as shown in the diagram. To understand the splitting of d orbitals in a tetrahedral crystal field, imagine four ligands lying at the alternating corners of a cube to form a tetrahedral geometry. The dx squared minus y squared and dz squared orbitals on the metal ion at the center of the cube lie between the ligands, and the dxy, dxz and dyz orbitals point towards the ligands. As a result, the splitting observed in a tetrahedral crystal field is the opposite of splitting in an octahedral complex, because a tetrahedral complex has fewer ligands, the magnitude of the splitting is smaller. The difference between the energies of the T2G and EG orbitals in a tetrahedral complex is represented by delta T, that T represents tetrahedral, is slightly less than half as large as the splitting in analogous octahedral complex delta O or delta naught. Let us see the splitting of d orbital in the square planar complexes. The splitting of d orbital in these complexes is like shown in this diagram. The splitting of d orbitals in the crystal field model not only depends on the geometry of the complex, it also depends on the nature of the metal ion, the charge on this ion and the ligands that surrounds the metal. In this diagram, we can see all the three types of splitting, that is tetrahedral, octahedral and square planar complexes. Ligands that give rise to large differences between the energies of the T2G and EG orbitals are called as strong field ligands. If the difference between the energies of T2G and EG orbitals are small, then it is weak field ligands. Once we know the relative energies of the d orbitals in a transition metal complex, we have to worry about how these orbitals are filled. Degenerate orbitals are filled according to Hund's rule. One electron is added to each of the degenerate orbitals in a subshell before a second electron is added to any orbital in the subshell. Electrons are added to a subshell with the same value of the spin quantum number until each orbital in the subshell has at least one electron. Octahedral transition metal ions with a D1, D2 or D3 configuration can therefore be described by the following diagrams. The first electron enters into the dxy orbital and dxz and dyz, and then the electron enters into dx squared minus y squared and dz squared. Then the pairing will be taking place. When we try to add a fourth electron, we are faced with a problem. This electron could be used to pair one of the electrons in the lower energy T2G set of the orbital, or it could be placed in one of the higher energy EG orbitals. One of these configuration is called a high spin because it contains 4 unpaired electrons with the same spin. The other is called a low spin because it contains only 2 unpaired electrons. The same problem occurs with octahedral D5, D6 and D7 complexes. As a result, we have to worry about high spin versus low spin octahedral complexes only when there are 4, 5, 6 or 7 electrons in the d orbitals. The choice between high spin and low spin configuration for octahedral D4, D5, D6 or D7 complexes is easy. All we have to do is compare the energy it takes to pair electrons with the energy it takes to excite an electron to the higher energy EG orbitals. If it takes less energy to pair the electrons, the complex is low spin. If it takes less energy to excite the electron, the complex is high spin. The amount of energy required to pair electrons in the T2G orbital of an octahedral complex is more or less constant. The amount of energy needed to excite an electron into the higher energy Eg orbitals, however, depend on the value of delta naught or delta O for the complex. As a result, we expect to find low spin complexes among the metal ions and ligands that lie towards the high field end of the spectrochemical series. High spin complexes are expected among metal ions and ligands that lie towards the low field end of this series. Compounds in which all of the electrons are paired or diamagnetic. They are repelled by both poles of a magnet. Compounds that contain one or more unpaired electrons are paramagnetic. They are attracted to the poles of magnet. The force of attraction between paramagnetic complexes and a magnetic field is proportional to the number of unpaired electrons in the complex. We can therefore determine whether a complex is high spin or low spin by measuring the strength of the interaction between the complex and a magnetic field. That's all. Thank you.